Hey everybody, welcome to my Suburban Oasis. My name is Soleil and I garden in Zone 6A in mid-Michigan, and today we're going to do some garden chores even though we are actually starting January. Happy New Year everyone. It's an exciting time to be out in the garden because I had no idea I was going to be able to get out this time of year. So I am actually going to be doing just what we talked about in the garden tour video, which is cleaning up some of my irises, cleaning up some of the chives, cleaning up some of the mums, doing what we can to kind of tidy the garden a little bit more before the snow falls. We're actually supposed to get some snow tonight, so I'm really hoping for it because the gray blah days certainly are not what I'm hoping for. All right, let's get started on the irises first. So I've got my Phlox secateurs alongside me today, but I'm hoping I don't actually have to use them. I'm hoping I can just grab and pull and that these irises will come out really easily. A lot of times they do. That's typically why I wait until this time or even the spring to actually clean them up. This is going to be so satisfying, you guys. Like I do need to clip this stem. Sometimes the stems do hang on a little bit tighter than the foliage. Just looks so messy, and it's going to be really satisfying to see this nice tidy bed. And there's nothing about these irises that will be hurt by snow or anything, so it's fine to do this time of year. Oh, I have a Virginia that's kind of uprooted here. I'm not sure if a bunny dug it up or what, but I'm just going to kind of tuck it back in and hope that it makes it. I don't know if it'll make it through the winter, but it's worth a try. And the irises already have some beautiful, nice green foliage setting up for next year. Wow, that looks so much better already. Now I'm just going to go along this bed here and kind of use my gloves to scoop up some of these leaves. It is pretty moist outside because of the fact that we've been getting so much rain, so I'm not going to get my leaf blower out. Besides, I'm really enjoying the nice peaceful quiet. So let me just grab those leaves and tidy that up too. Well, there we go. That looks beautiful. And just look at those colors. Now we can really see those and not have the dead iris just kind of detracting from the beauty of the Virginia that's happening right now. Gorgeous. All right, let's go trim some mums that are in this bed right behind us. So we talked about this bed as well on the garden tour, and you can see how these mums are kind of hiding the beautiful green foxgloves that are behind them. So we're just going to cut those back and do it all the way to the ground. And we'll just tidy up this daisy as well. There's a few little bloom stalks that didn't quite get cut back. And then there's an iris. This iris doesn't look quite as bad as the ones in the other garden bed. So I'm just going to use my secateurs because I don't think they'll all pull out very well. How about that? That looks so much nicer. Now you can actually see what's green in that garden bed. that feels good to have that. Now we're going to tidy up some of the chives and a phlox that I have. Just stopping on our way to show you this beautiful hellebore, which is kind of prematurely blooming in my garden. This is just a random one that I got from Home Depot, so it has no specific name, but it is going to be beautiful. Has gorgeous colors on it. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's go get the phlox. So this is the phlox, and normally I cut these back in the fall because they are susceptible to powdery mildew, but somehow I missed this one. And sometimes that just happens in a garden that's as big as mine, or when you're busy. So I'm just going to get after it now and be happy that I am. Plus it just looks really untidy. It doesn't look very nice in the snow. It doesn't provide really any winter interest. And anything that just looks like that right now, I just want to get rid of. Especially if we don't end up getting a ton of snow this winter, who knows? Okay, onto the phlox. I mean, the chives. Let's go. So you can see here we have some really ugly looking chives that have just kind of died and turned to kind of a mushiness. It's really quite gross looking. So we're going to clean those up and it's going to be so awesome. While I'm at it, I see some daylilies that could use a little bit of dead foliage removal, so I'm just grabbing that while I'm next to them. It's probably one of the biggest garden hacks my grandma taught me, which is when you see it, just do it. And that's probably how some of us gardeners end up doing about 50 things when we get out in the garden. We start doing one thing and then we see another thing that we need to do. Oh, they're so gross and mushy. Well, just another reason why I'm so glad that I have these wonderful gloves that I always talk highly about, because they have such a great coating. They're great for winter. They have fuzzy lining, and you can get them on Amazon, and I keep a link to them in my description if you're interested. They just keep my hands warm and keep them from getting wet when it's moist outside or the ground's wet. Normally I wait till spring to clean these up. They're all kind of dry and not all mushy and slimy and gross like this, but I can't stand to look at them if we're not going to have snow. So I gotta clean them up. Gotta do what I can. And while I'm right here, I'm going to clip these penstemon. Oops. Well, there we go. Doesn't that look so much better? It does to me. Now, the other thing we're going to do while we're out here is get after these hydrangeas a little bit. I got a couple of things that I want to clip off of them. So we'll start with this small strawberry Sunday hydrangea. Much of the weight has been lifted off of it because the panicles are now dry, but I still need to clip them off because when we get snow, if we get snow, they're definitely just going to continue to be pushed down. So I'm just clipping these back a few nodes at this point. Just want to make sure this continues to grow upright and not leaning over into the pathway. So I'll do more pruning when we get a little bit closer to spring. And most of the new growth will grow upright, but this is still good to get done right now. And sorry about any sniffling you hear. I did take my allergy medicines, but y'all know I got allergies. And the ups and downs of the temperature this season, from cold to hot to wet, has been a little crazy. These branches are just sticking out into the pathway, so clipping them back. All right, the ones that are still left on there kind of towards the back, I'm just going to leave for now because they're so small. I'm not worried about them actually doing any damage with this plant. So I'll work on those when I actually try to shape the plant. All right, next up, this glorious beast, the vanilla strawberry hydrangea. I'm going to just clip off this tape or stretchy kind of, I don't know what it is, that I got at my local plant store. Kind of helps hold it up in the summer when it has really heavy blooms that are weighed down by the wet. So we're going to take some blooms off of this plant as well. You can kind of tell that the branches are already starting to harden off in kind of a droopy shape, which is not fantastic, but it will look better next year. We got one serious leaner back here that's going all the way across the plant. I don't know if you can see that, but because of that, I'm going to cut it way back here. I don't want to take off all of them because I like to see some winter interest on these hydrangeas. And one more serious leaner right here that's actually going almost directly down. So I think that looks pretty good, don't you? The structure is still pretty well intact. I'll prune for shape a little bit later this season. And, oops, we're gonna grab this one more right over here. And I think we got most of the heavy leaners that are like real strong branches on this. So yeah, this is great. Well, thanks so much for joining me today to spend some time in the garden at a time when I did not think I'd be out here gardening. It's great to see you all, and Happy New Year again, and we'll see you next time. Bye!